my ex-solicitor, Salusbury, Harding and Barlow. Again, they've had a commercial lien and been accused of mortgage fraud on 6 mortgages and a will fraud. We were served a notice of interest to begin with, and then I sent an affidavit of obligation, commercial lien, then a notice of fault and an opportunity to cure. All those were sent, witnessed, recorded delivery, sent recorded delivery and witnessed at a solicitor's. And then, because I didn't even get a reply, I've now got the default certificate, which I'll shortly be uploading to the Uniform Commercial Code website. So all this started off when I got an email from my sister. So this was the affidavit. Again, it's all on the website, all the links to everything. These must have been served 200 to 300 pages of material backing my claims up. But this is the start of the affidavit. If you notice, we've got a tracer flag here. That's so you can upload it to the Uniform Commercial Code website. And then I've given it a reference number, the date it was started. That's the solicitor's initial, the company's initial, and then it's an affidavit of obligation, commercial lien, and then I've valued at this is 13 million. Simply because it's all stated within this affidavit. So we start off that I'm competent to state the matters set forth herein. I have first-hand knowledge, etc., etc. And then we're saying that the eternal, unchanged principles of laws are, and then I'm saying, do you agree with all these? Like this, for example, an unrebutted affidavit stands for truth in commerce. Well, I've sent them an affidavit. They've not even replied, let alone reply with substance and rebut point for point. So, and it also stands for the judgment in commerce, which is why you set your fees for damages out within the affidavit. So all these, I probably went a bit overboard with this because it was a solicitor. I thought I'd give her the whole lot. So all these are just laws. Do you agree with all these laws? Bear in mind that they're laws. Then we go on to Bouvier's maxims, another load of laws. Do you agree with these laws? And they're pretty similar. So up to now, I think the first 4 or 5 pages are nothing but all their laws. So I'm asking them, do you agree with all this? Then we go on to the Fraud Act. All this then. Private and international law about fraud, etc. Rights to damages, full compensation. What? And then our unalienable rights, which is all your common law. Do you agree with that? So all these pages here are to do with law, their laws, and I've asked them, do you agree with that? No reply, no rebuttal, no response whatsoever. So all that's to do with the law. The next bit, we've got the parties. So obviously that's myself, and because the solicitor, Lisa Bacon, didn't reply to my notice of interest, I tied all the rest of the directors. I've included them in on it now. And then there's John Doe's. That's if you any of the people. Whoops. Anybody gets in your way, obstructs you, you put them in the John Doe's 1 to 10, and they get added to the lien as a debtor, and that is the people in the courts, the court clerk, the judges. You add them to it. So then you start that I received an email from my sister, and I've included it in when I received it and what it's regarding. And then within the said email from my sister, she states, I understand you're not paying council tax, and I have contacted the solicitor about this, and she tells me this is grounds for me to take you to court. As the clause, Dad's wishes, yeah, I'm sure my dad made all these clauses in his will. I can hear him reading them off, line after line. Have been broken, and you're not adhering to the will. So that's how all this has started, by that email from my sister. So I replied, and then I started this commercial lien on the solicitor. Because I've always found if you attack them, they soon start backing off. Oh, hence, I've not heard a thing from the solicitor, and not much from my sister either. I'm quite disappointed with my sister. I'm ashamed of her behaviour, but that's because she's totally asleep. So you just lay out what's gone off. See, in the notice of interest, I gave them these 12 questions here. That's all. They didn't reply to them, so that's why they got the lot. So I proved everything with the birth certificate fraud, the mortgage fraud. I've asked them to produce the original agreements of my mortgages. No, not heard a thing. So that's all they got asked initially, was to reply to those 12 questions there. Didn't. So then, like I say, I backed everything all up, accused them of aiding and abetting in all this, willfully, which is true, because they don't give a shit. They just represent your straw man, not you, the living man or woman. So, and especially when I found the expert in all legal matters have got the mortgage business, and it's showing actual fraud. So that was one of my mortgages with, and so was my parents. So as you know, all the mortgages is a big scam and a fraud anyway. So will have all been defrauded by these gangsters. it's a long affidavit. And then I included the foreclosure that the One People's Public Trust did in 2012, foreclosing all the banks and all the corporations, including the solicitor who thinks she can advise my sister to take me to court, simply to line her pockets, the greedy cow. It was quite easy writing this affidavit. I didn't like that solicitor in the first place, so. And then that's the best bit there. All words herein as basically I, the lien claimant, defines them. So it's your affidavit of truth. They can only rebut it, but they don't. And then I like that. I strongly advise you seek lawful advice on this issue. This is to a solicitor. And then there's all the proofs of allegations there. What I enclosed. It was like sending a book. It was massive. It cost me nearly £7 in postage. So there's all that, and then they get onto the ledgering, which is when it started at £1 million. But because they didn't reply, it was £1 million per mortgage, per CEO of the solicitor's firm, which is why it's gone up so much. And then, because within, it gradually goes up. So the 1 million is 13 because there's 3 of them, there's 6 mortgages and a will. And then there we are, look, default. So if they're going to default, it's triple damages. So you're telling them if you go into default, it's triple damages, so it's 39 million. And then, oops. And then look there, the final notice of default and the lien debtor's absolute admission. So I couldn't make it any clearer. And there we are. Lien debtors become liable for the immediate payment, loss cost times plus 100% of the total lien value. So it's all there within the affidavit. Everything. And then it's just the witness. This is just the draft, so I could turn it into a PDF. And then I've told them to sign it and do a red thumbprint, exactly like what I do, to identify each people, each person, each living man or woman, I should say. But they don't. They didn't reply, simply because they can't. I tied them up every which way. They've got no choice but to totally ignore it. And then the copyright stamp. And then that's what was witnessed, even with the tracer flag on. And that's it. And then in the footer, I've also got all this in the footer. Look, the reference number on every page. So that's the that's the actual affidavit of obligation. And then after that, of course, you wait 30 days. If you don't get a reply, the next one is this one. Well, that's the default certificate. I'll have to get the opportunity to cure. It's a bit of a satellite delay there. Good grief. Oh yeah, is that a photo? Oh, that's better. Right. Right, so after the 30 days, they got sent this. An opportunity to cure. Again, this was sworn and scribed, witnessed. Basically, a statement of facts, what's gone on. So the lien debtors are at fault. Opportunity to cure, and I gave them 3 days, regardless of when they received it. Bear in mind, I sent it on a Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Or was it Friday, I think? I can't remember. But I know that they had no time. Yeah, it was Saturday I sent that. So that's the opportunity to cure. Of course, they didn't reply. So 3 days later, I got the default notice. Again, all this is on the website. If anybody wants to look at the originals, download them, use them yourself. That's what they're there for. So they've got the default notice now, and of course I've put it on the website as well. Just the public notice, and then yeah, so, and then there's the actual affidavit itself, as I've just showed. Well, there's the notice of interest first. So that's what they got served first, witnessed, sent recorded delivery, and there's the 12 questions. So they asked to answer those 12 questions initially. That was all. Couldn't do it. No reply. So, and there's the affidavit of obligation. It's a long page, this one, but there's all links and everything where the allegation proof of allegations are. There's all links. You can see what I sent them, what they've been sent. Here it is. All these. Click on the links. What's been said. All what they've got served, and no reply. So public notice is now worth 130 million, and it will soon be uploaded to the Uniform Commercial Code website, UCC, and do the UCC process, which is pretty similar to the affidavit process. So we'll see how we go with this, but they're on public record now. So Salisbury, Harding and Barlow, lien debtors, 130 million.